Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and I'm going to continue my conversation about data centers, and I'm going to talk about noise pollution and public health in this one. I need to be fair to um, Deep Green, I need to make sure that I put a couple disclaimers out here. Um, Number one, I want to sorry, I got my screen messed up a little bit. I wanna say what Deep Green says, and basically they're saying that state-of-the-art acoustic controls to minimize sound emissions. They also state that they will fully comply with Lansing noise ordinance. What they do not say is the expected decibel levels at the property line, how low frequency noise will be mitigated, specific barrier heights, materials, or absorber performance, independent acoustic modeling, and operating assumptions during backup generators. So I don't know their technology. It's not transparent anywhere that I can find, and they might have something that I don't know about, and everybody else who's looking for me doesn't know about. So I'm going to start with that disclaimer. But I want to go over to our modeling software that Mark and I are working on and start to explain this to you a little bit. This right here is the Deep Green data center configured in our software to the best of our ability. So it has things like the 25 megawatts. I don't quite know the acreage, but it's not very relevant. I'm assuming that it's a pretty efficient system. There's no on-site renewables, closed loop technology, so not huge water intensity at the site. I then am turning on the noise information, and we get this information from these sources here. And it is just based on data that is out there about data centers and all of that. We've got the formulas, we've got the sources, all of these things. So I know that's probably fast to read, but trust us on it for a minute. We have a document that we will also put all this stuff in. At the data center, we're estimating about 65 decibels, and coming out to here, we're estimating 55 decibels, then out to this zone around 45 decibels. Now, because my map is a little bit hard to read, I want to switch over to one that takes these things out of here, and let's just talk about this Cherry Hill area here and go into another map where I'm laying out some things. So this is the Deep Green Center. The Cherry Hill area that I just said is right on the cusp. This is the new City Hall. So it's right on the cusp of the sound. The Ovation, which is our new performance uh, theater or whatever it's called, is here. And I also want to point out that up here is the hospital, and down here is a substation. So if I just turn on my measuring, I want you guys to all know that this data center is 1,256 feet away from the proposed new city hall. It is about 0.38 miles from, or let's just say 4 mile or zero point 0.4 miles from the new Ovation, and it's about 5.4 miles away from the substation. If I go over to the hospital, which is here, it's about zero point 0.5 miles from the hospital. Now, let's go back. This is 0.25 miles, basically. I'll just stretch it out a little bit so you can see that. A quarter of a mile is what we have over here. So this is a quarter of a mile. This is where the new city hall is going to go, just a little bit out of that range. And so the decibels are going to be between 55, most likely, and potentially 45 decibels. Let me go back to this. I want to tell you a story. We mined crypto to heat the building for the past 3 winters. I'm not doing it right now. My number one complaint about that was the humming noise. And that noise, it wasn't that it was loud and hurting our ears. It was that it was just on you all the time. You could feel it, and it was weird, and I hated it, but I started to get used to it, but I didn't really get used to that. People would complain about it. I would have to shut it down during meetings, all of that. And again, not because you couldn't hear over it, but because you could feel it. And what we've learned in researching this is that it's a continuous low frequency hum, and it penetrates walls, windows, and human cognition. Backup generators are going to spike and have 110 dBA. That's going to be loud and all of that, but it's just going to disrupt things for about an hour once per week. But that low hum is something that is horrible. You're not going to like it. If we try to walk from, let's say, the Fledge or the hospital or whatever to City Hall, or walk to the Ovation, we're going to have to walk by that humming noise. The people of Wendy's across the street are going to hear it and feel it all of the time. And again, they say they have a way to mitigate this, but these low frequencies are very hard to mitigate. I think they said that the wavelength is like 10 to 15 feet long. And so they just get around and over, and they do lots of little weird things. And we have nothing in any documentation yet that tells us what the decibel levels are going to be, how they're going to mitigate them, and all of that. It's just a promise. It's a might be. And what do you think is going to happen if we build $120 million facility, mostly with equipment that costs that? It's not the great $120 million investment in Lansing. It's $120 million investment by Deep Green for corporate use. So let's not get that number in there and say, but it's $120 million. Most of that's not coming into the city. I've got another set of slides for that one. So anyways, man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. And the mayor and the city officials are going to see that everything they do to the web, they do to themselves. So your big fancy offices in the new city hall are going to come with the hum. And if you approve this, I think everybody should thank you for that every single day. Love y'all, including you, Mayor. Just trying to help.